What's going on, guys? It's personal injury and accident attorney Kevin Sullivan from Myachis Law Group, and I'm going to tell you guys how I made thousands of dollars on eBay as a teenager. So let's get to it. All right, so the first thing that I did when I was a kid, and I kind of giggle about it, it brings me back, definitely. So when I was in 6th grade, there were these guys that came to school that owned this company called Myachis. So basically Myachis, it was these guys that made hacky sacks for your hand. You could do tricks and all this. So all the kids at school loved it. And I was like, I think there's a business opportunity here. So I talked to my dad and said, hey, can I borrow $100? And I'm gonna buy like 150 of these things because they were selling them online for this like big box of them, and you got some special edition ones. This sounds crazy, but stay with me. So my dad said, sure, I'll loan you the $100 and just pay me back when you sell them all, kind of trying to teach me about entrepreneurship. What I would do is I would take a few to school every day and I would try to sell them to the kids in my class. And I sold quite a few of them until I walked into homeroom with $50 or $60 of quite a few kids' lunch money. I don't think the teachers were too happy with, so they said, hey, listen, you can't sell these things at school anymore. I did okay, gave him back his monies, and then put the rest away for a couple years. So I want to say maybe 2 years later, we were on eBay just kind of cruising around, and my dad said, hey, what were those stupid hacky sack Myachis things that you had me buy you a couple years ago? And I said, oh, they're called Myachis, look them up. He looked them up on eBay and said, hey, this one's $40. And I go, I have 4 of those. It's like, what? I go, yeah, I'll show you right now. So I went up in my closet, I got them all down. What about this one for $50? I go, oh, I got 3 of those. And he goes, oh, look at this one. This sold for $200. And I go, oh yeah, I got one of those too. So basically, this toy had taken off in New York, this hacky sack Myachis, and it was the #1 toy at FAO Schwarz, the big, huge toy company that they had, like the piano scene in the movie Big. That company was selling these things like hotcakes. So I put all of mine on eBay, and I want to say I probably made between $2,000 and $3,000 on eBay selling these Myachis that completely crazy, had no idea that this would ever happen, just right place, right time type of deal. As I got a little bit older, my father's always been into watches. I have too. I love watches, all different types, whether they're old, new, pocket watches, wrist watches, clocks, any type of watches. We've always been fascinated by them, and all the different brands, from Rolex to Bulova to Accutron to Seiko, all the above. So there have been opportunities over the years where my dad has bought out a couple watch shops, and we used to sell some of the stuff that we didn't want, the parts, etc., some of the watches on eBay. Let me go ahead and sell some of this stuff for you and give me a piece of it. And he was like, of course, no problem. Every Saturday and Sunday, I would go through all this old antique watch stuff and look it up on eBay, see what it was selling for. I would list everything. I would take the pictures of everything. This is like old school. This wasn't like easy on your iPhone. You had to actually take a picture with a camera, then you had to take the SD card, put it in the computer, type in the whole description. So it actually took a while. I would go and pack up all the items and I would ship them out to all the different customers that we sold to on eBay. That was definitely a significant amount of money that I was making when I was like 14, 15 years old, selling these old watch parts. I also grew up playing paintball, loved playing paintball, and there were these guns, if you're familiar with paintball, known as autocockers. So basically these guns would sell for a couple $100 a piece, but they would actually, if you took all the parts and the bodies and the frames and the regulators and things like that, all the different parts, you would actually get more money for them parting them out. So what I started doing is going on Craigslist and going on eBay, and I would buy these rare paintball guns and I would take them all apart and then sell the parts on eBay. The other thing that I would also do is if I saw a gun that was broken or needed a few parts or needed to be, fixed, I would buy those broken guns and I would either part those out or I would get them fixed at the local paintball shop, and then I would sell those as well. Eventually that took off where a couple of my friends that played professional paintball, they would get free gear for playing for the team, and they found out that I was selling stuff on eBay and a couple different paintball forums. They said, hey, listen, we don't want to be bothered with selling this stuff. Will you sell this for us? And I said, absolutely. I'm gonna take a percentage and I'll sell it for you. So every couple weeks, I would come out to the paintball field with a couple $100 for each of them, selling all these guns and old paintball gear and jerseys and masks and things like that. For a long time, probably from the time I was like 12, 13 years old until I was like 16 or 17, instead of having a normal teenager job working for a fast food restaurant or a grocery store, I was actually reselling stuff on eBay. I'm a huge proponent of that. Obviously, a couple tips: make sure you're safe. Be careful, especially if you're meeting people to buy things or on the internet. There's a lot of different videos about going to Ross or TJ Maxx or Walmart and selling things on Amazon or eBay. I think that's a great way to start saving up some cash and flipping it into other things. Also too, if you can find things on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, obviously, like I said, with the safety factor, make sure you're safe. Go with somebody else if you're picking something up. Do it at a police station or a safe place. But there's a lot of money that can be made in reselling and on the internet. Sneakers obviously is a huge thing. A lot of different ways. So if you're a young person, you're trying to figure out how to make a couple extra bucks, definitely reselling is the way to do it. I would say is learn something, some type of niche hobby that you can find things in that not a lot of other people know about, and then that you can flip those things and make a couple bucks. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys next time. Be good.